Mira was bored. No one ever texts me first, she sighed, scrolling her phone. Suddenly, a new message blinked in. Hello, human, this is Dragon. Mira laughed. Very funny. But the next message read, I need your help. Curious, she replied. Help with what? A map appeared on her screen leading to the old quarry. That's weird, Mira thought, but she grabbed her bike and rode off. At the quarry's center stood a dragon, scales shimmering like phone screens. You really came, he smiled. I've been trapped in this Wi-Fi signal for years. Mira held up her phone. You're inside my phone? Not for long, he winked. With a flash, he soared into the sky, leaving behind a tiny glowing icon. Dragon Contacts 1. Mira grinned. Best text ever. Shelley the snail longed for speed. Every day she watched Skitter, the jetpack squirrel, zoom across the park. Oh, to fly, she sighed. Why so glum, Slowpoke? Skitter grinned, zipping by. I wish I could go fast, Shelley said. Hop on, he said. But I'm a snail. Perfect, Skitter strapped her on, and whoosh, they soared over trees and puddles. Whee! Shelley cheered. Suddenly, jammed controls, spiraling down, Skitter panicked. Shelley stretched out, splat, and caught a lily pad, gliding them safely down. Whoa, Skitter said. You saved us. Shelley smiled. Slow and Steady's got moves too. Zeke never liked his backyard. It's boring, he sighed. But one morning he spotted a strange vine curling up the fence. It shimmered like soap bubbles. Weird. He poked it, and pop, a giant bubble grew from the vine and swallowed him whole. Whoa! Zeke floated up, the bubble carrying him over rooftops. Okay, this is not boring anymore. He laughed higher and higher. They rose until a forest of bubbles appeared in the clouds, each filled with tiny creatures waving at him. Welcome, Zeke, a voice boomed. The bubble vine chose you to save us. Save you? Zeke blinked, but before he could ask more, the bubble began to wobble. Hold on, Dee, the voice cried. The bubble storm is coming. And with a pop, Zeke's adventure was just beginning. In a dusty attic, Dostella found a pair of old sneakers glowing faintly under moonlight. She slipped them on, and they hummed. Suddenly, she floated an inch above the floor. Cool, she laughed, twirling. But then, the sneakers sprinted out the window. Hey, who's driving these? Bishasadas by doors. She shrieked as they dashed across rooftops and over fences into the sleeping city. The sneakers stopped before an old shoe store. Inside, shelves shimmered with glowing shoes. You're the chosen walker, whispered a voice. A tiny cobbler stepped out, smiling. These sneakers only fit those meant to walk between worlds. Dustella's eyes widened. Worlds? The cobbler nodded. Tonight we need you. And as the sneakers laced themselves tighter, Dostella stepped forward, ready for an adventure she never imagined. High above the mountains lived a shy cloud named Puff. He watched big clouds make thunder and lightning. I could never do that, he sighed. One day the sun said, Puff, the garden below needs rain. Can you help? Me, I'm too small, Puff said nervously. Please, the sun smiled. Puff floated down, took a deep breath, and let out a soft drizzle. Flowers perked up. Trees smiled. More, Puff, said the sun. He rained just enough to refresh the garden. Back home, the big clouds cheered. Look who made rain today. And Puff felt big for the very first time. Every fish in Coral Reef admired Bubbletail's shimmering, bubble-blowing tail. But Bubbletail didn't want to stay in the reef. I want to explore beyond the kelp, she declared. So one morning she swam past the coral towers, leaving a trail of glittering bubbles behind. Careful, warned the seahorses. Beware the deep. But Bubbletail swam bravely on. Soon the water grew darker, then glowing eyes. Who goes there? Rumbled a giant sea turtle. Bubbletail gulped. I'm Bubbletail. I want to see the world, the turtle chuckled. Then hop on, little explorer. Together they glided through underwater caves and shipwrecks, past glowing jellyfish and singing whales. The world is big, Bubbletail whispered, but not so scary when you've got friends. And her bubbles sparkled brighter than ever as they journeyed on. Deep under Clover Hill, 3 bunnies, Nibbles, Thumper, and Tilly, peeked out of their burrow. It's gone, Tilly gasped. The moonstone, the glowing gem that lit their tunnels, had vanished. Without it, the warren would fall into darkness. We must find it, said Nibbles, stuffing carrots into a satchel. Their journey began under starlight, hopping past sleepy owls and whispering winds. Suddenly, paw prints, big ones, led into the foggy woods. Something took it, Thumper gulped. Bravely they pressed on, their ears twitching at every crackle. At the heart of the woods stood a towering badger holding the moonstone. I borrowed it for my sick cub, he rumbled. The bunnies huddled. Maybe we can share it, Tilly offered. And as the moonstone's glow lit both burrows that night, the 3 brave bunnies learned that sometimes courage meant kindness too. In a dusty thrift shop, Milo found a strange blue coat hanging in the corner. Try it on, the shopkeeper winked. As soon as Milo slipped it over his shoulders, the coat purred and lifted him an inch off the ground. Whoa, it hovers, Milo grinned. Where would you like to wool? The coat whispered. Milo thought hard. Somewhere no one's been before. With a flutter, the coat soared out the door, over streets, past clouds, higher and higher. They zipped through rainbow storms and cotton candy skies until they reached a floating island with doors hanging in midair. Choose a door, the coat said softly. Milo reached for a shimmering silver one. But suddenly all the doors began to glow. Each leads to a different adventure, the coat whispered. But you can only pick one tonight. Far beyond the hills stood the spiral tower, twisting high into the clouds. No one dared climb it, except Starzell. Inside is a wish, she whispered, clutching her lantern. As she stepped inside, the staircase shimmered and shifted under her feet. Choose wisely, a voice echoed. Every turn brought a door, one to treasure, one to adventure, one to answers. Starzell hesitated, then followed the faint sound of music. Up and up she climbed, until she reached a tiny window at the very top. There she found herself playing a song on a golden flute. The wish was always inside you, the voice smiled about. Starzell laughed, feeling light as air. As she played, the tower's walls unfolded into bridges of light, leading to dreams she never dared imagine. Glimmerlocks wasn't like other unicorns. Her mane sparkled with tiny stars. One day I'll fly to space, she dreamed. And one night, as she gazed at the moon, a spaceship crash-landed in the meadow. Out tumbled 3 fluffy pandas in silver suits. We're lost, the biggest panda sniffled. Can you help us get home? Glimmerlocks stamped her hooves. Hop on. With a burst of magic, her horn glowed bright, and together they soared into the sky, weaving past comets and glowing moons. But then a shadow loomed. A space dragon, gasped a panda. Glimmerlocks narrowed her eyes. Hold tight. With a swish of her shining tail, she left a glitter trail so dazzling the dragon blinked in awe, giving them just enough time to zip away. Thanks, Glimmerlocks, the pandas cheered as their home planet twinkled ahead.